We are back with Cocktails with the Queens. Now, joining us is a licensed clinical social worker and sexologist. Please welcome Shamyra Howard. Hey, Queen.
Hey,
Hey, y'all. Hey, Queen.
hey.
First of all, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. And some of us could use some tips. So, Shamyra, whether you're coupled up or dating or happily single, it takes time. It's the time of the year when pleasure takes center stage. So do you think people have more sex on Valentine's Day than other holidays, or is that just a myth, or is it true? What do you think about that?
Well, Claudia, that is actually true. So about 58% of people say that not only do they have more sex on Valentine's Day, but they have the most pleasurable sex on Valentine's Day. Speaking of pleasure.
Okay. Well, Shamyra, before we talk about sex, why are people still in 2022 still a little uncomfortable talking about something that's so natural?
It's 2022 and people are still hush hush when it comes to talking about sex. Now, we have all the sex we want to have. We do all the sexual things, but when it comes to talking and using our mouth about it, we get really quiet. So, Queens, let me ask you, are you comfortable talking about sex? Are y'all comfortable talking about sex?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think it comes with age.
Okay, well, let's do this. Let me ask you this. Let's play a quick game. So when it comes to talking about sex, would you say you are more 90s R&B or 2022 rap music?
Both.
R&B. R&B. R&B.
Every
Every once in a while, you
got to throw that rap in there?
You want to get that ratchet in.
Listen.
Yeah. But overall, for me,
again.
When I'm on the bottom, it's R&B. When I'm on top, it's Ratchet City.
What song is in your head? What's playing?
F the mother, cause I'm down for my F the mother. That's my wedding song if I ever get married. Okay, never mind. I told you I was ratchet.
And that's actually 90s and 2000s too. When he just rapped. That's actually C Murder. And that's actually
my favorite song of all time. Anyways.
Okay, so Shamyra, there's a shocking number of how married couples spice things up in relationships that, my bad, I just said that wrong. There is a shocking number of couples that only have sex once a week, or the report says that 40% of married couples are not really having sex like you would think because they're married. So why is this happening? Okay, first of all, I know why it's happening, but I'm just saying, because I've been married for 15 years. So, but why is this such a, across the board concept? You know what I'm saying? Because when you're in the relationship and it's not happening, you be thinking, dang, it's just us. And then you talk to another couple, they'd be like, girl. And then the other couple be like, okay. So why is this happening this way? Why is this the norm?
Oh, you're right. It's not shocking for people who are married. I have been married for almost 12 years. So this year would make 12 years that I have been married. And the research says that most couples in long-term relationships have sex at least one time a week or less than that. So about 54 times a year is the average amount of time that people are having sex. But that number actually dwindles down when you age. So people who are between 40 and 49, they have sex even less than one time a week. And there is no specific type of number. There's no magic number on how many times we should be having sex. So don't should on yourself. So people are not just having sex like that as they are in relationships because, life happens. And one thing that's not happening is people aren't really prioritizing their relationships. So some people could possibly go for a little bit more, but across the board, that is a very, very common number.
Shamyra, Shape.com reported that men, they prefer to start off their day with a little, sexual activity in the morning. And women, they are hornier in the evening. Do you find this to be true?
So as a sex therapist in my office, I see people who have mismatched libidos. That means somebody wants it more than the other person. So somebody might want it in the morning, somebody might want it at night, and then they start having issues because they can't figure it out on when are we supposed to have sex. And so the goal here is to recognize that in a relationship, you are very rarely going to want sex at the same time, right? So it just varies in couples, especially working people. So people 40 plus, you're working, you're career driven, you're all about yourself. You have to make time for it. It's not happening as often. And so at nighttime might not be the best time for a lot of women, because that's when they are tending to the family, tending to the kids, and doing all of the things that make them too tired or give them a headache. Hello, somebody, when it's time for sex. So it's best to figure out what works best for each person.
I don't think about it at all. It's like when you have that chemistry with someone, that part of you being in love with that person is because you're turned on by them. So when they walk across the bed, it's like, hey, lay on down again. You know what I mean? You're in the bathroom. It's like bend on over again. You know what I mean? So it's like, lay on again. But my question is this, because I want to get down with the get down here. You created the Use Your Mouth Sex and Relationship Conversation starter cards. So tell us about the cards, and what are some of the most popular questions that people come across when they are pulling from the deck? Because that's what I want to know.
Well, pull from that deck, huh, Lisa Ray?
Yeah, like tell me, I want to know, because I'm going to use this probably.
So I think you would really like these cards, especially since you sound like someone who has more of that responsive desire. I heard you talking about because the attraction's there, you're ready to throw your partner down. That doesn't exist for most women. Most women have what's called responsive. And I meant to say you have spontaneous desire. So that means you're ready, you're on go. Most women report that they have responsive desire. So that means they need more attention in order to be ready for sex, but they're not using their mouth and communicating that to their partner. So their partner just feels rejected. So the Use Your Mouth Sex and Relationship Conversation starter cards helps couples to get in the habit of having sexual conversations, right? So it asks questions, and you and your partner have this conversation about the question that you pull from the deck. And it helps to increase intimacy because we are in relationship with each other, but a lot of us don't really know each other sexually outside of P and V sex. One of the most popular cards in the deck is, if you could choose, how often would you want to have sex? People love answering that question because you have some people who say, oh, it's every day for me. Every week I want to do it. And some people like 2 times a week. And so what that question does is it gives you the opportunity to understand, oh, they're not just rejecting me. They don't just not want to have sex with me. That's just their sex number. That's just how often they want to have sex.
Man, because when it's good, the feeling is just great. And it's like, I want to have that all the time. It's like a jolt of, let me start my day with it. Let me just, interrupt my day with it, and let me lay down and go to fall asleep with it,
Okay.
Oh, I'll be back. No.
Okay. I hate that the trailing off, like you start off most relationships like that, and then it can kind of dwindle down because you're like, it's always great the first year. It's always great the first couple years. I don't know. All right. Before we let you go, can you leave us with some tips for women who are over 40, who want to try different things in the bedroom with their man? We need some tips.
Absolutely. I'm the tip girl. So here's the thing. I'm going to leave you with
okay.
3 things that women over 40 can do. Lisa Ray, you don't need these. I think you good.
She's in your square, child. She's somewhere.
Women over 40 can do. The first thing, if we're talking about pleasure and we're talking about intimacy, we have to understand that intimacy begins with I heard you saying earlier, Lisa Ray, that you're all about you, y'all. I understand what intimacy is, understand what pleasure is, and give yourself that pleasure first. If you have a partner, you're going to have to schedule sex. If you're noticing that your lifestyles are not conducive and it's not feasible for you just to go inside and see them and drop your panties when you see them. Scheduling sex don't sound like, look, Tuesday, 9:25 p.m., be in the bedroom naked in the doggy style position. We schedule sex all the time and just don't know it. It's Valentine's Day. Some of us are going to be having sex today. Some of us have already knew that today we were going to be having sex because it's Valentine's Day. That's scheduling sex. It's also saying, look, When we get home tonight, it's on. That is scheduling sex, right? And the last thing, y'all, queens, you heard about head, shoulders, and toes. It's time to get into the knees and the nose. Use your knees and your nose when you're having sex. Use that nose, kiss those knees, and get them to kiss your knees too.
I'm for it. Amen and hallelujah.
Well, Shamyra, we have got to have you back and not wait all the way to next Valentine's Day. We're going to need a little pick-me-up in the middle of the year. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to follow her on all her social media and support her projects. Thank you, Shamyra. We really appreciate you.
Send them cards, girl. I'm going to use them and I'm going to pass on all the information.
All right, we'll be right back with more of our Valentine's Day show after this.